Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm just coming to you with some thoughts for the day, and I hope you guys are doing okay this midweek. Today, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about something that I'm learning, ongoing, continuing to learn about control and who's really in control here. I have never really thought of myself as a controlling person. Those of you who know me, I can give you a second to stop laughing. Okay, I kind of like control, but I don't like to think of myself like that. But one thing I learned a couple years ago, or at least I tried to learn, when I sent my son to college, I think one of the fears I think of sending your kids away is the fear that you're losing control of them and protection, and that when they're in your house, you feel like you can keep them protected. You can kind of know where they're going to be, at least when they're little you can. And those of you who know my son know that probably wasn't always the case. But when they leave your house, that illusion of control goes away. And one thing God was teaching me during that time is, guess what? You have never really been in control. You can tell them what to do. You can feed them the right things. You can do all those things, but ultimately it's still God that's in control. And that bubble that's popped when they leave your house was just an illusion in the first place. So let go. I've got this. I've got him. I've always had him, and that's something I'm still continuing to learn. It's still hard. I know all you mamas who have grown children know that when they're not with you, you still wonder what's happening and how can I keep them safe. But right now, I think a lot of the fear that's happening out there is a lack of control, and we're all just saying, if only I knew, if I could just know what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week. And it's killing us that we don't know all those things because of that illusion of control. Because when we had our life ordered, at least the way we thought it was, we felt like we're in control. We've got a schedule, we've got a routine, and now all that's out the window. And so I think one of the things I'm trying to learn, and hope maybe some of you are too, is that God has always been in control. We have this self-protection mechanism, or whatever it is, that we think that we want to be in control, but I don't think we really do. And so I have a couple of verses today that just kind of remind us that God's got this, and that things are better when He is in control, when we are not. Even that illusion of control, because we've never been in control. So Romans 8:28, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good to those who are called according to His purpose. So He isn't a God that's in control to do mean things or to harm us. He's got good things coming out of this. And I know some of you, I've already talked to some of you, and we can see the good things coming out. Job 38, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is kind of when God's answering Job. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? On what were its bases sunk? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Or who shut in the sea with doors, when it burst forth out of the womb? When I made clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band, and prescribed limits for it, and set bars and doors, and said, thus far you shall come, and no farther, and here shall your proud waves be stayed. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place, that it might take hold of the skirts of the earth, and the wicked be shaken from it? This is when God's answering Job, and basically he's saying, yeah, I know, I'm in charge. I've always known. And he says it in a loving way, but basically, I got this. And then one verse that this time of year we are usually selling tons and tons of, Jeremiah 29:11. Sorry, this is going a little long today. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. And we love to say that verse, but one thing I was reminded of recently is, do you know where the Israelites were when this verse was told them? They were in exile. For 70 years, they were kicked out of their homes. They were taken to a place that they didn't like. They were not in charge. But God is promising them in the middle of that, I have good plans for you. And then the verse after, which we don't always say, it says, and then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart.